No, I mean, this is the biggest project that I have done thus far. This project is amazing. I'm really proud of it. It's super light and airy and just clean. I like to say it's more like a modern organic style. So very contemporary, but warm with like natural tones to it. And hopefully everybody likes it. This was a long-term goal of mine to get to this spot where I could do a project of this size and also pull it all together in the end with the furniture and sell it completely furnished. I did that once before, a few times before, but the very first one was a property in Melbourne Beach on the river. A friend of mine, Brian Ellison, designed and he furnished it, and the owner decided to sell, and we put it on the market, and I sold the house completely turnkey. The buyer loved it so much and fell in love, and so it just made the selling experience fantastic for the clients, both of them, the buyer and the seller. The seller was moving out of state, didn't need the furniture. The buyer was moving into the state and had nothing. So at the end of the day, it just worked out really great, and it was done so beautifully that it just made sense. And I've done it a few more times since then, and that was kind of where it all started. And now I'm here in a project I designed and furnished, and I'm hoping it goes smoothly as well. This journey has been a journey of pushing myself out of my own boundaries of comfort, doing something that I had never done before. And I started with a small project in Melbourne a few years ago. I did a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1-car garage, 1,200 square feet. It was a very like lipstick flip, but it was a lot for me, the very first one, to just take the plunge, and do it. And so over time, I've worked pretty hard to develop my skills and grow them. And I wanted to achieve something bigger, do something more than just selling homes, I'm flipping homes and designing homes and selling homes. I'm doing all of it. So this journey has really been a personal journey for me. And I do hope that what I'm doing inspires other women out there to push their boundaries in whatever they're doing. Whether they're shooting for a promotion in their job, or they're thinking about starting a small business or anything, just go for it. You have to believe in yourself. And that's kind of always been like my MO, is just don't give up, keep going. You'll hit some bumps in the road, but you got to keep moving forward. And I think that's the key to success. There's a part of me that is a bit of a creative, and doing this is an outlet for my creativity. And it's also something I can be proud of as well. And it coincides with my business. So that's one big part of it, is just being able to design and create. It's something I've always done. When I was a little girl, I'd be in my bedroom for hours. I'd recover my seats of my chair in like leopard fabric, or just do crazy stuff like that. I would sew clothes, make halter tops, and all sorts of things like that. So that's a different side of me than the sales side, and it just kind of goes together. I've always had a passion for aesthetic and fashion, or homes, of course. I'm in them all the time, and being able to create something kind of gets that portion of my brain going, and I enjoy it. I did a partial renovation in Rio Villa, that listing, and we redid the whole fireplace area. I had that done. Took out the old fireplace, put in the really sleek, modern LED electric fireplace. Did like a really cool finish on the drywall. We took out some old existing things that were obsolete. Updated bathroom, extended the flooring, things like that. That was a fun one. They were living there while I was helping them, so yeah. But at the end, it worked out really good, and I sold that house completely furnished as well. The buyer bought 95% of everything in there, and they loved it. They were moving here from out of the country, from the Netherlands, coming back to the US, and they just were like, this is it. They loved it. So that's kind of the steps moving forward, I think. I'm going to continue doing what I've always been doing, which is listing homes and selling them and working with buyers. And then being able to also give advice on this type of thing for my clients. When it comes to a listing, I can give a list of improvements that could be made that will help them sell their home for more money. I'm in it every day, I'm doing it. So that's kind of it. It's like a second piece of my business, really. This project has a lot of really cool things in it, but now that I've done this and this is finished, I know I can even bring it to another level. So my goal, I'm gonna manifest it, hopefully, is to find a waterfront property, something on the river or the ocean, an older property, and really just totally blow it out of the water in the next one. I would love to talk to some people that have been important in my life and are continuing to support me, share their stories. I have some pretty amazing friends and colleagues that I would love to talk with on camera. And of course, whenever it's possible to share a little bit about what I'm doing, like I have been with the tips and tricks and things like that, I'll be doing that. I do have another project I'm already well underway on in Satellite Beach. It's going to be a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,000 square feet with a pool. Actually today the pool was just refinished and they're filling it up with water today. So that was a good check mark for today. And I'll be documenting and sharing about that one as well. What's interesting is that the more I do this, the better I get at it, right? So what took me 4 hours to do 3 years ago is only taking me now an hour, let's say. So, you have to fine tune your skill. I played soccer in college, and what did I do? I had to go out every single day and practice, no matter what, and that's how I got better at it. It's the same thing with selling homes, listing homes, working with buyers, design, anything in the world really. So just not doing too much at once, I guess, is the key, I have to have my team around me to support me. I have to have my family time, of course. So, time blocking my schedule for things and self-care, fitness, it's a lot to manage, but I think the next step of just doing one at a time with the flips, I'm not trying to do like 3 or 4 at a time. I prefer quality over quantity. So just doing something really special, really elegant, and then on the alternate side, having my regular business as I always have, and then doing that sometimes in the evening or whatever after my son goes to bed. I'll be on the computer, designing, picking out selections for things, doors, you name it. Instead of just watching TV and like zoning out, it's fun for me to look at things like that and visualize what it's going to be based on what I'm selecting. So maybe like a little bit of a reset button in the evening for me when I do that. It's not stressful to me, and I think one of the big reasons why it works for me too is because my days are like all over the place. There's a movie called Rain Man, and there's one scene where there's this chalkboard the size of this whole kitchen, and he's writing an equation on the board, and the equation starts at one end and then it goes to the other and it comes up back down. I feel like that kind of is a image of like my day sometimes, because I'm ping-ponging around, I'm getting phone calls left and right, and so at night it's like, it's quiet time, my phone's not ringing, and I can just sit there and design and, enjoy. They say, you should focus on one thing, and then you're really, really good at that one thing. And I generally have like a envelope of that, I would say, but I am also, being distracted by phone calls and different things, and so it can take away somewhat like how quickly I get to that success point, I think. But I would say I'm proud of how far I've come in this journey I'm on, and I know what is the definition of success. It's a personal thing, I think. I think if I was looking at what I'm doing now 4 years ago, I would have been like, whoa. And now that I'm here, I'm kind of like, okay, this was good, I'm ready for more, I have a sort of balance within me. I think somehow that I'm able to handle a high level of stress and kind of just flow through it pretty well. I would say I'm an optimist. I'm also the kind of person that doesn't think like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. that's the end of the world. We're not going to move forward. It's over. There's always a way to find a solution is how I think. So it may not be like A to Z directly, and you might have to go like off the course to chart off, excuse me, you get off the course a little bit, but you'll get right back on it as long as you're positive and, think it through. So I think that helps me with anxiety and helps me with things that happen because nothing's ever perfect. There's always problems. And, at the end of the day, if you're not going to remember it in 5 years, try not to hang on to it, right? If you have somewhere you want to go and a level you want to achieve, find somebody who's doing that, follow them, follow their journey too, and learn from them. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. If there's somebody else out there who's been there, done that, and also can inspire you to do your best, and maybe they offer tools or programs or things like that can help you. I started a couple of years ago in this whole process of developing, at a very simple level, and, watching one of my favorite designers and what he's doing, what kind of selections he's putting in things. And then, I've gone in probably 10,000 houses in my career. I've been an agent 20 years. So, just going in and out of properties and constantly seeing what the latest stuff is. Me personally, I go to model homes sometimes and just check it out. What's the latest in the model homes? What kind of surfaces are they putting on the countertops, and what are the color palettes? I follow a lot of people in the real estate world. I also follow people in business development. I also follow people in design. Just a lot of different ways to fill my mind up with creativity too. Analyzation, parallelization. That's not something I'm very keen on. Yeah, if you overthink, you can get paralyzed. So you have to kind of just put one foot in front of the other and just take the leap off the diving board and go. The more educated you are about something, the less fear you have inside of you because you command it, the subject, right? I mean, if you're not feeling like you can take that first step, maybe it's because you have this idea, but you don't have a plan. So sign up for a course that's going to teach you exactly what you need to do. For example, I didn't follow through because I didn't have enough time last year, but I do have a really big interest in e-commerce and an e-commerce business, another type of business completely different than what I do. And so I started looking around on different, ways people are doing things, like TikTok made me buy it, or white labeling products, or, there's all these different ways you can do it. And so I found one program, I invested some money in it, and I bought the whole thing. It's still ready for me when I'm ready, but that's what I'm gonna do when I hit the ground with that project. I want to take the course, I want to learn from people who have been very successful at it, and basically step and repeat. Try to do that, but with my own spin on it. And I think at that point, I'd be super confident when I'm finished, and I'll invest the money in that business. So education is a good thing. So this is the first episode I filmed today, really just about this property and the journey on this one. However, I am looking forward to speaking with some of my colleagues and friends about what they do. I have some really fantastic women in my life that are successful entrepreneurs and other interesting characters I'd like to share with you and their stories of how they inspired me.